Let's talk a little bit more about Washington. I think one thing Democrats and Republicans agree on, Washington is broken right now. And Speaker Tillis, I guess the question for you is how can you change that if you go? And I want you to start by naming at least one big issue where you would disagree and take on your party's leadership.
Well, you know, I think what we ought to do is talk about the things that we can do to actually move legislation, like 350 bills that have gone from the House and went to Harry Reid's desk. Senator Hagan's been quiet. She's talking about bipartisan leadership, but let's talk about regulatory reform. Let's talk about repealing Obamacare. Let's talk about putting the EPA back into check instead of destroying jobs. You know, the problem that we have with Washington is it's broke. The people are not communicating across the aisle. Senator Hagan, over 6 years, has not authored a single bill that's gone to the president's desk. That's a problem. We need people that are going to bring people together. In areas where we can't agree, don't take the time and move into areas where we can agree. Take time to find policies that can create jobs versus kill them, like Obamacare. 2.5 million jobs equivalent. 600,000 jobs with the EPA overreach. Let's reduce regulations and create jobs. That is something I've got to believe we can all agree on.
Let me ask the question again. On which issue would you take on your party's leadership?
I don't know. At this point, it's kind of hard to say because in the Senate, which I'll speak for the Senate, not for the House, President or Harry Reid hasn't allowed anything to be passed. You know, George, you know this better than most people. When you have the House and 350 bills to the Senate, and you only have a few dozen votes in the House and only a few dozen votes in the Senate, it's hard to figure out where the differences would be because they're not debating. There's no such thing as regular order. Senator Hagan has rubber-stamped Harry Reid's policy, I'm sure requested by President Obama, to shut down the Senate. Save all these tough votes until after the election. You need to understand, delaying the mandates and delaying amnesty are all election issues that are on the ballot, and you have an opportunity to stop it.
You get a minute?
You want to ask him your question again?
It's against the rules. You go ahead.
The Keystone Pipeline. I disagree with the president. I think we need to build the Keystone Pipeline. Trade deals. I have voted against trade deals because they sent too many North Carolina jobs overseas. And I voted against my own party's budget because it had too deep of cuts to our military. Speaker Tillis, on the other hand, would have supported a budget that would turn Medicare into a voucher program. He would have supported sequestration. He would have supported a government shutdown. And when he would have supported the government shutdown in North Carolina when that took place, it was the height of our fall leaf season out west and our fishing season in the east. That is what Speaker Tillis would have done.